New Year, and welcome back to our top trends to watch in 2025, in which we're sharing expert insights and opinions about the most influential trends happening today in the pet nutrition space, and how pet parents can stay informed and engaged as these trends evolve this year and beyond. In today's episode, we're going microscopic. Not quite Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, but more Miss Frizzle-style shrinkage as we go inside the body to learn all about the tiny microorganisms in our gut and how they influence the overall health and wellness of not just us, but our dogs and cats too. Keeping this intro short because I'm really excited to get into this trend, so without further ado, let's get into it. Welcome to Barking Mad, a podcast by BSM Partners. I'm your host, Jordan Tyler. So far for this week's mini-series, we've talked a ton about sustainability, and it's obvious that sustainable initiatives are huge in pet right now, as well as in many other consumer goods categories like in human food, health and beauty, and plenty of others. But let's take that term, sustainability, and flip it on its head for a minute. So far, we've been thinking about sustainability in terms of environmental impact. But what about in terms of longevity? Like, how can we sustain our pets' lifespans, but more importantly, their health spans for longer, adding not only years to their lives, but vitality to their day-to-days? This idea of the health span is picking up speed as we, for ourselves and for our pets, increasingly seek ways to not only stay alive for longer, but to stay healthier for longer. There are a number of individual trends under this new focus on the health span, but we'll be focusing on one category today that is evolving rapidly and promising widespread benefits across the body. This is biotic ingredients. Biotics are tiny microorganisms responsible for moderating bacteria in our gut, feeding the good bacteria and staving off the bad, while also improving the gut barrier to prevent things like a leaky gut, which has been associated with a range of subsequent health issues. You've probably heard the terms prebiotics and probiotics, but what about postbiotics? To get a better understanding of what each of these biotics does inside of a pet's body, and in our own bodies, really, we spoke with Dr. Mark Franklin, Global Technical Lead of Additives for the Pet and Lifestyle Divisions of Cargill.
So in simple terms, I just describe it as prebiotics really serve as food for those live microorganisms that are in the gut, right? They're typically fiber sources, carbohydrate sources, and they're preferentially used by the good guys, the good bugs in the gut. So, they would be consumed. Those bugs in the gut would produce metabolites as they consume these prebiotics. Probiotics, on the other hand, of course, would be supplying those live bugs. We want those live bugs in the gut. We want them to eat the prebiotics in the gut and produce metabolites and have an effect. Postbiotics really kind of shortcuts all that. And so we do that fermentation outside of the animal, where we take a probiotic organism and we feed it and we have the production of those metabolites.
According to Dr. Franklin, new products with a Biotics claim launched between 2021 and 2023 were up by more than 300% on a 3-year basis. And when you start to understand the widespread benefits a healthy gut microbiome has on total health and wellness, it's easy to see why.
And that microbiome sort of has a master control, particularly that gut microbiome as a master control. How does that affect cognition, mood, skin, all those different axes that we talk about, right? Gut, brain, skin, even reproductive tract, right? So as we start to uncover some more of these things and look at the synergies, I think there's a huge potential upside for us.
We also spoke with Dr. Steve Lerner, Senior Scientific and Business Advisor for Novonesis, a global biosolutions company formed through the recent merger of ingredient manufacturers Christian Hansen and Novozymes. As Dr. Lerner pointed out, these bacteria have been around for longer than, just about anything here on Earth. And with modern science, we're able to harness the power of these microscopic organisms to benefit gut health across species, including for our dogs and cats.
I'm very fond of saying that bacteria have been on Earth for about 3.2 billion years, and they have co-evolved with all higher life forms. So we may believe that we carry them around with us, 40 trillion of them, but they simply find us a very elegant transport system. We keep them by and large in the dark with low oxygen, very well fed. We share them with reckless abandon among ourselves. And if you're an animal, you put them back out into the environment in, let's say, a nutrient-rich material that some of us with pets pick up from our yard. But you know how this is, right?
That was maybe the greatest euphemism I've ever heard. Now, according to Dr. Lerner, Novanesis owns the largest commercial bank of bacterial strains. And it really is the strain that matters most when deciding which bacteria to implement for specific biotic benefits.
The probiotic organisms available to us, by federal law, everyone who puts them into a package must provide the genus and species of those organisms only. But in fact, it is strain of organism, which is an individual organism, and all of its trillions and trillions of nearly identical clonal copies that's important. So let me give you an analogy to illustrate this. All dogs on planet Earth are Canis lupus. That's their genus and species. Now, we give dogs a subspecies designation of familiaris because by and large, we control the breeding of dogs. When you consider the dogs, Canis lupus, and now you want an individual dog for a particular task. Let's say this task is helping a team of rescuers in the Swiss Alps that are out trying to find skiers that have gone down, perhaps buried in deep snow, and need to be pulled out on a sled to be saved. And they want to have a dog with them that can help them find those individuals. Well, a choice might be a St. Bernard. A choice might be a Bernese mountain dog. They're tall, double coat of hair. They love being in the cold. They're usually very obedient. They're usually relatively stoic dogs. And maybe that Canis lupus would be a good choice. Or another Canis lupus is a Cavalier King Charles Spaniel or a Chihuahua. They are the same exact genus and species as St. Bernards and Bernese mountain dogs. But you might immediately agree with me that some of the genetic gifts conferred upon the St. Bernard or Bernese mountain dog to make it better suited for the task at hand, improve its chances of success versus Cavalier King Charles Spaniels and Chihuahuas. The same exact scenario is true for microbiological organisms. All Bacillus subtilis organisms are the same genus and species by definition, but they vary in their genetic gifts significantly. Some are better at producing digestive enzymes. Some are better at producing antimicrobial peptides. Some are better at germinating out of spores to become active cells. Whatever you can measure, there's variation based on genetic gifts. And we at Novanesis have 90,000 strains in our strain bank. We identify individuals based on their genetic merit for a particular purpose. We then test the expression of those genes, that's called phenotype, in a various set of assays. We call that high throughput screening to know on which sources of energy will they survive. Will they survive going through an acidified gastrointestinal tract? Will they act in a probiotic manner? And then most importantly, will they play well with other organisms that we might want to include?
Now, Arm & Hammer, yes, your favorite baking soda brand, also has a robust collection of probiotic strains, according to Dr. Sangeeta Jalukar, microbiologist, immunologist, and senior technical service manager for Arm & Hammer Animal Nutrition.
We leverage our extensive research on strain selection. So on the probiotic side, we have a rich library of about 80,000 probiotic strains. So we leverage our research on the strain availability, growth conditions in our manufacturing process, our proprietary yeast processing technology to develop these biotics. Our yeast-derived pre- and postbiotics are supported by over 50 plus publications. So we have a rich data set showing the benefits of our pre- and postbiotics.
It's also interesting to note what is motivating the growth of biotic supplements for pets. Marlena Hidley, Director of Marketing and Innovation for Arm & Hammer Specialty Products, mentioned much of the interest can be attributed to a shift toward preventive healthcare for pets.
Today's consumers are taking proactive measures to maintain their pet's health span. We like to use the word health span because they're truly looking to improve the quality of life of their animal. And we see consumers turning to food and treats to enhance the nutritional value of their pets' diets. We also see gut health claims really rising in popularity with pet parents. A recent Nielsen data report showed that product sales with gut health claims were up 213% year over year, which is tremendous. But it's not surprising given the latest FMCG Gurus report, which noted that 56% of pet parents seek products that help aid digestive health. So it is quite aligned with the market trends that we see. And with the humanization of pets trend expanding, we do see a clear focus on nutrition.
From a more technical perspective, I think one of the reasons why the use of biotic ingredients is gaining popularity is because of the general accepted theory and understanding that many health challenges in pets originate in the gut. So any gut imbalance can lead to food intolerances, allergies, digestive health challenges. Poor gut microbiome can lead to chronic conditions such as IBD or obesity also. So as the demand for pet foods with digestive health benefits continues to rise, I think pet parents, pet food, and supplement manufacturers are seeing evidence-based solutions to support animal wellness. Pet parents, I think, use and have experienced the power of biotic supplementation, and they want to extend that same benefit to their furry companions. And that makes sense because there is a 63% similarity in microbiota between dogs and humans compared to 33% for pigs and mice. So it is natural for pet parents to seek and extend that benefit from a more healthier microbiome. And biotics are known to provide that.
Interestingly, Dr. Lerner pointed out pet parents who purchase biotic supplements for themselves are more likely to purchase them for their furry companions.
When you look at who among our pet parents is providing these type of supplements to their fur babies, we see a significantly greater proportion of pet parents who themselves are taking probiotics and are perceiving the benefit of taking it themselves. Well, if it's good for them, then it's unethical to not provide it to your pet. Now, maybe unethical is a strong term, but you get my point. So I believe we're going to see this continued positive trend. I believe every individual, every day, should be on an effective probiotic. That's you, your family, your loved ones, your children, and all of the animals in our care every day should be on something that positively impacts the microorganismal life in their bodies, their microbiota. And, I believe it's in probiotics.
So there you have Dr. Lerner's recommendation. While health-savvy consumers are picking up on these benefits and applying them to their pets, education remains a key opportunity to help more pet parents understand the benefits of biotics.
Well, I think there's certainly room to educate consumers on the benefits of biotics for their pets. Interestingly, a lot of these consumers are taking probiotics themselves or familiar at least with pre and postbiotics, but only 22% actually recognize the health benefit of probiotics for their companion animals. So really a true push for education becomes really important here.
Emerging ingredients like biotics aren't the only thing that could benefit from consumer education. And companies are having to learn a thing or two as well. particularly when it comes to the fourth trend we'll be discussing as part of our Trends to Watch in 2025 series. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves, though. First, it's time to unshrink ourselves and wrap up the episode. As evidenced through the topic experts we heard from today, and coming back to what Dr. Lerner said about bacteria being here for 3.2 billion years, it seems we're starting to catch up to what these microorganisms have known all along, that a healthy gut microbiome is key to overall health and wellness. And just as we can leverage biotic ingredients to improve our own gut health, we're now discovering the benefits of biotics on our furry family members as well. Tomorrow, we'll explore our fourth trend of 2025, sustainable pet food and treat packaging. You won't want to miss a lively discussion about how the pet industry is working to reduce the environmental paw print of its packaging, as well as a critical analysis of our current recycling infrastructure, and a conversation about the barriers currently standing between pet parents and more readily recyclable pet food and treat bags. Until then, thank you for tuning in to Barking Mad, a podcast by BSM Partners. If you'd like to learn more about us, please visit our website at www.bsmpartners.net. Don't forget to subscribe on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, and if you enjoyed today's episode, share it with a fellow pet lover and leave us a review. Lastly, be sure to stay tuned for more insights this week from our Trends 2025 miniseries, as well as future episodes on pet care innovation, sustainability, and other hard-hitting topics you won't want to miss. We'd like to thank our dedicated team in support of this episode: Adamiette Thomas, Neely Bowden, Kate Wright, and Dr. Katie Miller. A special thanks to Leanne Haggerty and Michael Johnson. Happy New Year, and see you next time.